Oh, good morning, everybody. So we're halfway through the month of receiving. So I am assuming everybody's receiving everything that they want with ease and grace and no stumbling blocks. Reverend Karen gave you 2 talks. You got it all mastered now, right? Theoretically, it's so easy, isn't it? And then we get into our own brain and our own heart and our own life, and it turns out maybe there are some additional things we can look at. Reverend Karen in the last 2 weeks shared with us the 3 key important steps to opening ourselves up to receive. She shared with us that we have to accept the good that comes. That's easy, right? That we have to be grateful for what is to invite more, and that we need to show up in our complete and absolute authenticity. And all of this is super simple. I feel if I just stand here for a while, the laughs will just slowly continue to get a little louder and a little louder. And she shared with us the statement from our statement of intention, or our what we believe statements. We call it the Declaration of Principles. And it says, we believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of life to all. And do we believe in that? Do we really want to believe in that? Is it about 50-50? Like sometimes I really believe in it, and sometimes I'm like, ooh, that sounds good. Would really like for that to be true. So this talk is called Expanding My Sphere of Availability. It's one of those kind of practical talks about the nuts and bolts of actually walking out these wonderful ideas that we've been talking about. Because here's the thing. That darn Ernest Holmes, the founder of our teaching, says some of this stuff in the simplest, cleanest ways. And he said, even God cannot give us what we refuse to accept. Therefore, we should create a mental picture of ourselves as daily receiving the good we desire. And we've talked about it. I feel like I can count on you for this. We've talked about how very, 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 very big God is. And how big is God? Really, really big. We've been working on this. It's really, really big. In fact, it's infinite. That there is nothing we cannot be or do or have or explore or create in the power of the divine that is always where we are because it made us to be like it as much as possible. It built its own goodness into us. We wouldn't be upright, walking, talking, having experiences if we didn't have that spark of the divine in us. Otherwise, we would just be really beautiful mud models of people that don't have relationships and walk around. And that would be less fun, yes? Even God, though, cannot give us what we refuse to accept. It could be right there. And if I won't look at it, if I won't pick it up, or if I say, no, I can't have that, that's not for me, that's only for blondes. Redheads do not get that good. If I decide that, it could have a bow on it. It could say, Reverend Leslie's extra special awesome gift. And if I go, I can't have it, right? So I tend to think of giving and receiving as kind of a faith thing, right? If I just believe in the goodness and the bigness of the divine, then I will be good. I will have my good. But not if I refuse to open the dang box. God can only give me what I accept. So we're going to talk about this thing called a sphere of availability. I suspect that you might relate to this a little bit. A sphere of availability is basically a rendering of what's in my life now. What am I experiencing right now? And it's like that. And it's like I have a bubble around me. And everything inside the bubble is my goody yumminess. So in my bubble, I have the people of New Vision Center. Yay! It's a good bubble. I'm not going to lie. It's a good bubble. And I have all the things, the little stars, all the things I believe that I can have. So I've written a book. And I believe I can write another book. I believe it. I've sung some songs. I believe I can sing more songs. Maybe even write some new songs. Right? It's easy to believe it, right? I have a beautiful marriage. I think I'm going to do fun stuff with my husband. Yay! All the things that I know I can have right now. Some people call this the comfort zone. This is where you know you can hang out. The stuff in that bubble is for me. It's mine. God put a stamp on it. For Lezli. It's mine. Interestingly, there are other things also in our bubble. Every belief I have about what I deserve and what I don't deserve. Every thought about what makes a good person or bad person, or why we should or shouldn't get good things. What I think I can learn, and what I'm pretty sure I can't learn. Don't expect me to do advanced math, guys. That's that one right there. Nope. It's in the bubble, but I'm stomping on it. So in our bubble here, we have the things that we want and know we can have. We have the things that we already have and we love, and we have the things that we don't dig about ourselves. Now, it might just only be me that has a few things that I don't think are absolutely perfect about myself. But that math thing, it's also got a friend called can't follow directions in cars. The husband is nodding knowingly. She really can't, y'all. Thank God for GPS, or I might be lost in Oklahoma somewhere and never found again. Different people may have things in their bubble like a little bit gossipy sometimes, maybe not always the nicest. Ooh, and we don't like it when we see that spiky little ball in our bubble, do we? So what do we want to do? Push it away. I want to ignore it. That's not me. That bubble doesn't represent me. It includes all of our regrets, everything we kind of wish we hadn't done or kind of wish we had. It includes all of the things we think are our fault or someone else's fault. Every grudge we're holding is hanging out in that bubble, and it's starting to get crowded in there, isn't it? And unfortunately, the wonderful thing about this teaching is that it teaches us that every accusation we have about somebody else, every spiky ball in there that's about somebody else, who are we really talking about? Ourselves. Every accusation that we see out there is true about us. Every unkind thing we notice, we are unkind in some way. Every immoral thing that catches our attention is just pointing back to where do I feel like I'm out of integrity? Ooh, and we love that, don't we? Push it away. Push it away. And the circle gets a little too crowded. So here's the biggest challenge about hanging out in our sphere of availability, our sphere of things that we can have, is there's a wall around it. See the wall? What if what I want is over here? Can I have it? Can I, though? When I'm in that bubble, can I have it? No, because I see it over there and I go, not in my bubble. We've all done it. Okay, I'm going to remind you again. Do you remember my very graceful, open experience with being called to ministerial school? Where I just immediately signed up and went straight through with no drama? No, there was at least a year of, no, you can't make me do it. No, I am not going to spend a gajillion dollars on a master's degree program that's going to qualify me to make less money than I make now. Oh, I have kids at home. I can't do that. My husband won't let me. Totally not true. I just made that one up. I went looking for excuses all over the place, and that's what we do because I perceived that thing that I'm being called to is outside of my bubble. It's over there. It's not for me. Not for me. And because it's outside of my bubble, which even though it contains all my good and all my bad, I'm comfortable in there. I know who I am in there. That over there, you can't make me. You can't make me do it. Even though I knew God was calling me to it. The box had my name on it. There was a bow and a name tag and glitter. Y'all know I like glitter. It had unicorn wrapping paper on it. There was no missing it. It was for me. And I was still like, nope. Somebody somewhere told me women shouldn't be ministers. Like literally all my Science of Mind ministers have been women, so who do I think I'm fooling with that one? I tried everything to get out of it. And how'd that work out for me? So our sphere of availability is not the only sphere there is. There's also the sphere of everything. Everything. Because God is really, really big, right? So it's bigger than the planet. This was just the circliest picture I could come up with to give this impression. And so there's me in my little bubble. Look, I'm in Phoenix. And what if my dream is over here? Can I have it? Right? So we're in this place. I read the book, the Ernest Holmes book, and it said I can have it. I know the answer to this question. We're very good students around here. I know y'all read the book. And yet there I am in my sphere with that wall around me. What causes that wall? Part of it is that we just can't imagine that we can exist without the wall. Most of us can imagine something that's right there. Right? I'm a minister now. I'm a senior minister now. I can imagine growing this center. What if somebody said, no, your call is to quit this center and move to Chicago and work with Oprah? It's cold in Chicago. I moved away from there. Oprah seems very nice. It's doing really good work. It's in alignment with what I'm about. And talk about a church without walls. I mean, Oprah, she is the church without walls. I like Phoenix. My kids are here, my husband's here, my house is here, my church is here, my friends are here, my life is here, my music is here, my writing partners are here. Do you see what I'm doing to myself? Oh, am I shoring up my walls because they are nice and keep me safe from scary Oprah? She doesn't seem like she'd be that scary. And yet there's a part of me that is like, not for me, not for me. I imagine the cat that's trying to get away from Pepe Le Pew. Meow, 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 meow. And we all kind of do that. We can imagine a promotion. We can imagine passing that awesome exam that we studied for a gajillion years. We can imagine getting a raise at the job we have right now. Can we imagine living in a 40-room mansion? Somebody over there can. For most of us, that would be a jump. Can we imagine winning a Grammy next year? Somebody over there can. That would be a stretch for me. So part of it is figuring out what is that wall? What is that wall? And the wall to our bubble is actually built of all the things we're afraid to accept. Reverend Karen said it last week when she said, that which you reject, you marry, work for, or give birth to. My mother's in the front row. I'm so sorry. Our sphere keeps us from the bigger circle, like that. Push it away. Oh, I'm not comfortable being ambitious. Push it away. That'll save me from Oprah. I am calling quite the dragon. If she calls me this week, I am seriously going to call all y'all and tell you about it. If I am holding judgment about people being greedy, push it away. What am I blocking? My own financial good. If I think, I'm not that special of a person, I don't really deserve to be singled out, and I push it away, what am I blocking? People hearing my voice. And away, we push from us things that we know we don't like about ourselves and things that we are not admitting are reflections of what we don't like about ourselves until we have fortified that bubble so completely that it can't expand. Meanwhile, all the good stuff in the whole world is outside of the perimeter of my bubble. So Reverend Karen told us that we got to accept, we got to be grateful, and we have to be in our pure authenticity. So let's dig into that just a little bit more. Step one for dismantling that wall is halo removal. The halo removal service. You might have to take off your own. You know this if you think things like, how hard is it to just... Oh, clearly that one's just me. Okay. How about, I would never have done it like that. Or, I told them how to do it. Who does she think she is? Ooh, that's an insidious one, isn't it? Because it flips into who do I think I am? Got to take off our own halo that we've been using to pretend we're better than other people to protect our own tender hearts. We also have to take the halo off the imaginary person that lives in our head that does it perfectly that we can never be as good as. In my world, it's a sock puppet. She has a lot of opinions, this sock puppet. And when I believe her rules, you shouldn't be a minister until you're X, Y, and Z, old and thin and taller. Somehow I was supposed to get taller. I don't know how that works. And 5'2", the whole, no, it's not going anywhere. Or more educated, or more whatever, or less something else. If we listen to the imaginary rules, we are just supporting our own bubble, and we're building up other people's bubble walls too. Because we have this nasty little habit of sharing those opinions. Clearly just me. So, halo removal. You can come into the center, and Reverend Karen and I will offer halo removal services. It usually sounds something like, so what's the accusation? Oh, nobody likes that question. When they come in and somebody has done something wrong, and they are really mad about it, or hurt about it, or upset about it, and they should have done it differently, and we ask, so what's the accusation? It's usually something like, they're ignorant. They don't care. I don't matter. Ooh. But when we know the accusation, when we can name it, we can change it. That's what Emma Curtis Hopkins tells us. If we can name it, we can change it. Halo removal. The second one is to accept and bless everything. Everything. All of it. And I'm going to teach you a way to do it that's the world's easiest and can be done at a stoplight. Y'all ready? Okay. On the inside breath, or on the inhale, on the inside of your mind, you say, I accept you and the name of the person you wish to feel better about. And on the exhale breath in your mind, you say, I bless you and that person's name. I accept you. I bless you. I accept you. I bless you. About the length of a red light is the perfect amount of time to accept and bless whoever has just bleepity bleeped you off. But wait, there's more. We can also use it to bless and accept the parts of ourselves that we want to push away. I have accepted and blessed my feelings. Sometimes I can't even label them, just I feel upset. I accept my feelings, I bless my feelings. I allow myself to feel my feelings. I've accepted and blessed my own grumpiness. I know it's shocking to you all that I would ever have a grumpy moment. But not to Vernice, apparently. I have accepted and blessed my own judgmental nature. Because as long as I'm pushing it away from me, we can't shove it out of the bubble. There's nowhere out of the bubble to shove it to. It's not like we can put it through the food disposal of stuff we no longer want to see and just gone. We can't do that. What we have to do is accept and love it into integrated wholeness with ourselves. In is the only way out. In is the only way out. It's the only way out of a problem. It's the only way out of a conflict. It's the only way out of a sphere of availability. It's the only way out. And the final way to dissolve the walls of that bubble is to make a decision that we don't have to know. We don't have to know. Where would I live if I went to Chicago? I don't need to know that. Well, what role would I play with Oprah? Poor Oprah, she has no idea that she's part of this talk. Unless she does. I don't need to know. We are a yes to everything, and then we decide later. A yes to receiving possibility does not mean I am packing boxes this week. I am a yes to the goodness that comes, and then I will choose when I have all the information. How does that feel? Better? I can just be open. We can just be open to receive everything and decide later. To remove our halos and just frickin' be who we are. We're made in the likeness and image of a divine, infinite presence of perfect power and love. It is enough to just be who we are. We deserve the whole sphere, not just our own bubble. And so that's my call to action, to take that I accept you, I bless you prayer into your life. And start accepting and blessing ourselves so much that we don't have a halo that needs to be removed. And we are accepting all the good that comes and using our discernment to decide later. Y'all in? All right, let's pray it in. I invite the practitioners and ministers in service to rise and support this prayer. How good it is to know the truth of our own beingness, to know that an infinite presence that we call God is everywhere. Perfect, whole, complete, beautiful. That it already contains everything we could ever need or ever want, and that it is right here giving to us. It is the Father's good pleasure to give us the kingdom. It is the infinite Earth Mother's love that pours forth in all things. Whatever faith tradition you come from, whatever language you prefer, it doesn't matter. What matters is that there is this power and presence that is showing up as each one of us, as love, as givingness, as expansion and expression that is divine and perfect. And I am so thankful for every beloved within the sound of this prayer and beyond, for we are all doing the work of the one. And so I release this word into the action of universal law, trusting completely that God is doing God's work. We don't have to know how. We are just a yes, and we call it good. And so it is.